Yo, what's going on, guys? So it's Kehnee over here. I just wanted to make a quick video about something that I feel like is really important when it comes to playing League of Legends or just doing things in general that I feel like a lot of people don't really take the time to understand. Is that when you're playing a game like League of Legends, I think it's really important to like understand what you're trying to do with your own gameplay and to figure out how you want to improve as a player. I feel like a lot of people tend to make the mistake of like trying to blame other people for how they're playing in those games, which is why they're not winning as many games as they'd like to. But I think honestly, one of the most important things that people tend to stray away from or they don't take the time to understand is that when it comes to League of Legends, it's all about learning the fundamentals. And I feel like if you don't have a good foundation for your own gameplay, it's really difficult to improve as a player. And this is gonna come off as something that's like really simple or like oh yeah, this is something that I do work on, but then in reality we don't really work on it a lot, especially for me being like someone who likes to cheese in the early game and doesn't really look for these opportunities to be farming instead of like farming for kills. I think one of the most important aspects of League of Legends that a lot of people tend to neglect is just learning how to farm properly. I feel like if you take the time to understand how to farm properly and learn how to CS efficiently with every single game you play, that's going to be one aspect of your game that you no longer have to really worry about. Like when you go into unfavorable matchups and you know that this matchup is not in your favor, you tend not to really do too much because you have to give up your early game control. And despite that, if you have a good understanding of knowing how to farm from when you're behind, it's actually really easy for you to get to your mid game power spike without too much concern. Because the thing is, if you're like one of those players who plays like these early game champions, or you play a champion that's not really in your comfort zone anymore, and you're like put into a position where you just need to AFK farm for the moment, it's really difficult to come back into the game if you don't know how to farm properly. And I feel like that's something that you can definitely do to improve, like single-handedly. In order to become a better player at anything and with anything you do in life, it's important that you work on your foundation. Like I feel like a lot of people come into the channel and they ask me like, Kehnee, I don't know what to do. I don't know how I can become a better player. Like, what should I work on? Like, what champion should I be playing right now? What are the meta picks? Should I be rotating here, here, or here? And I'm just like, there are like a lot of situations where I don't really have all the answers to, because it's like it depends on what's going on in the map. What's your 5v5 scenario? Are you behind? What objectives do you have control over? And I think the one thing we can always come back to is just working on your foundation. I feel like if you have a better understanding of knowing how to control your early game and you know how to play to your power spikes, that all comes hand to hand with like first knowing the basics of just knowing how to farm properly. Because when it comes down to it, like all you really need to do, if you know how much CS is worth or like how valuable it is, you'll have a very good understanding of knowing that having 15 CS is the equivalent of having a kill. So if you're on top of your CS and you're out farming your lane opponent, you're already doing more than enough to outshine your lane opponent, especially like in the mid, top lane, and bot lane. And then this also goes into hand with jungling routes. If you have a good understanding of where you need to be on the map based on the jungling routes and you have efficient clears, you'll be miles ahead of your jungling opponent as well, which is something that I think a lot of people need to work on. Because it's more likely than not, if you were to ask like every single casual player, even if you move over to the pro scene and ask like what people are doing in NA, it's more than likely that a lot of people are not going into these bot games or going into custom games and just sitting there and working on last hitting. And I feel like last hitting is like one of the most important things when it comes to League of Legends. Even if I don't work on it myself and I know that my CS is pretty subpar, I think that's something that everyone can start to work on in order to improve their own gameplay and become a better League of Legends player.